I find LA. LA is a normal-looking town like Marysville or Reindeer with the usual grassland environment palette. The hotel and hospital are the first buildings I see. I pay almost $500 to stay here. In the morning, I speak with the other folks at the hotel. A woman says she's heard of a game called EarthBound. She doesn't know why it's called that, but it doesn't really matter. So if you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, don't judge a game by its title. In the hospital, one of the mushroom-headed people guarding the gates to Queen Mary's castle is here, posing as a nurse, but converses with me no differently than any other nurse. I speak with a man in blue. He insists he is a strong man and attacks me. He's a member of the BB gang. He's wearing dark blue pants, a dark blue jacket with red buttons, and a mask that completely covers his face that is also dark blue. The mask has some slack at the top that hangs forward in front of his face like he's concealing a pompadour hairdo or a Teletubby antenna. He wears red sneakers with white soles and white laces. His posture is very relaxed and cool, with one leg crossed over the other like he's leaning against a wall, and his arms are in his jacket pockets. Nintendo crits him for 107, and he regains all his senses. Outside of battle, if I talk to him again, he fights me again. This time I don't one-shot him, and he gets a continuous attack on Lloyd. When he regains his senses again, he drops a flamethrower. A flamethrower? I check the flamethrower. It says it toasts the enemy, but only Lloyd can use it. This must be an on-use item like the plasma beam, but deals fire damage. Simply as a means to test the flamethrower, I challenge him a third time. The flamethrower deals 88 damage, which is more fire damage than Anna's usual PSI Fire Alpha, so I suppose that the flamethrower is analogous to PSI Fire Beta, although Anna does not yet have Fire Beta in her spell list. An identical gang member nearby says, "If I fight with you, I will surely be a loser." This is strange because, per his own logic, not fighting me means he will be a winner. He fights me. He becomes a loser. I speak with a balding man with red hair clinging to the sides of his bald-ass head. He says the black clouds that hang over the mountains are making all the townspeople crazy. I speak with a middle-aged woman with spiky pink hair. She asks if the two of us are sweethearts. I say yes. She says, "Love and peace." Yeah! I find a third gang member. He says, "You're in the way, kid." He fights me, and I clobber his ass. I speak with a man blocking the entrance to a building with a stylish purple sign above the door that says Live House. He says I broke his tank, and that was his most prized possession. Hold on, is this the desert pilot? Now I have to pay $200 for repairs. Will I make restitution right now? I say no, because I have $59 on me. He says, "I am so angry. Arrgh!" I will return to him in a minute. Another spiky-haired lady says she has a ticket to the live show and that the store is all sold out, but she could part ways with her ticket for $1,200. I decline. She calls me a stingy kid. A little girl with red hair says she has a secret. Promise not to say that I told you? I say yes, I promise. She says the blah blah boss's real name is Teddy. Teddy Jr., the third to be exact. Okay, two things here. So BB gang stands for blah blah gang, like capital BLA dash capital BLA. There's no H in the spelling, by the way. And Teddy, that's the name of my fourth party member. Another gang member simply shouts, "Hey!" then attacks. He utters more dirty words that decrease my fight, and I make him take back that hey. A fifth gang member says, "I'm no match for Teddy. He could beat me up with his pinky." He attacks. A sixth gang member sings a different tune. He says he has low HP, but he's going to do his best. This gang member, he sells himself short, for he is no better or worse than any of the other blah blah dudes. A woman asks if I am a blah blah, but I am unable to confirm or deny this for her. Do I look like I'm dressed head to toe in a blue onesie that completely covers my head? Another townie says they saw a cactus with a face in the desert, then ran for the hills, screaming as loud as they could. North of downtown is the residential district. There are 20 to 25 homes here. A sign says Mount Itoi is to the east. Another sign says the lookout tower is to the west, and the harbor is to the north. I find a gang member here, and he says I must watch out around here, but no fight ever comes. This blah blah member is smart and will live a long life. I go to the department store and withdraw $5,000. Let's explore the shops here. The variety counter has a ticket for $350, a butter knife for $580, a rope for $600, and a survival knife for $1,200. I recall the scalper said her ticket will cost me $1,200, but I can get one here for about a quarter of that amount, so I buy the ticket here. I raise an eyebrow at the knifed weapons, but I don't buy any. Near the department store is the police station. I enter. It is a single room with buttercream walls and floor with a single law enforcement officer present, a desk, and a jail cell. That's it. The cop says he has a fantastic source for weapons and that I should check back with him later. I fight the same BB gang member maybe 20 times, and he doesn't drop a single flamethrower. Let's go to the music venue. I pay the tank owner $200, the apparent value of his tank, then go inside. The interior opens into a large purple room with a stage center top. There are tables dressed in white tablecloths. A woman asks to see my ticket. I check my ticket. The following language appears on the ticket. Rock and roll all night and every day at the live show. I give it to her, and she lets me pass. A concert goer says I look cute and wants to buy me a drink. I say no because I am underage. She asks me if I'm afraid of the cops and goads me with a final, "Come on!" A man asks me if I want to sing too. I say no. He says I'm shy. A girl with black hair says Teddy's parents were killed by mountain creatures and that before then he was a gentle kid. A man says don't peek in the back room or I'll, quote, catch it for sure. I peek in the back room. A woman says this is her dressing room. Get out! And I leave. The final NPC here is a cool dude with black hair, shades, and a red suit. He says, Anna, girl. Well, I saw your name on your hat. Stranger danger. I return to the man who asks if I want to sing, and this time I say yes. He escorts the three of us to the stage. Then go ahead and jam, dudes! I no longer have control of my children as we spread out on the stage and sing and dance to a song. The song is okay for this standard of soundtrack, and the animation is simply my three children facing forward and moving diagonally in formation. It is clear they haven't been taking notes from the Runaway Five. After an applause, a man enters the concert hall, races to the stage, climbs up it, and speaks with Nintendo. He's another cool dude, black hair, shades, muscles bulging out of a red wife beater. He says, thank you for your nice song. By the way, did you guys beat up my friends? I say yes. He says, he'll smash us. Who's the boss? And I'll teach him a lesson. We fight. But this fight is a one-on-one fight. I think I'm having controller issues here. My left Switch controller isn't working anymore. I can't select any other option than the default, a basic attack. I fuss with my Switch for 10 minutes before I attempt to simply auto-attack my way through this. We deal single-digit damage to one another for 3 turns, then the battle ends. Turns out this fucking fight is a scripted encounter, and my hardware is working just fine. My opponent says, you are quite a guy. Your name is Nintendo? Let's call it a draw then. I seek vengeance for my parents. To the mountains! I'm prompted with a yes, no to this, and I say yes. Apparently this means he can join my party, because the next thing that comes out of his mouth is, well, I'm sure we'll make a good team. Let's get going. Then, turning to Lloyd, he says, you there, the one with the glasses. You're not so good at fighting, are you? Rest here while I borrow your goods, okay? The rest music plays, and Lloyd leaves my party, and his sprite is nowhere to be found. Teddy has joined the party in his stead. I check his stats, dreading that he's level 1. He's level 18, what a relief. Is this what it's like to have an adult in your playable party? He has no PSI points, no equipment, and begins with 134 health. He's also got all of Lloyd's inventory. So, what the hell happened to Lloyd? We have no explanation whatsoever. I take the Onyx hook and return to Magic Hand. I visit the magical goods keeper, who is functionally identical to my sister's storage bin, and withdraw the butter knife, the sword, bread, a sports drink, and a PSI stone. I suspect Teddy deals in these kinds of bladed weapons. I equip the butter knife, and Teddy's offense is 101. I equip the sword. Teddy's offense is 132. I return the butter knife, and also the flamethrower and plasma beam, as only Lloyd can use these items. Gosh, I hope Lloyd comes back. Why did he have to leave anyways? I buy Teddy the usual defensive items, magic coin, gold ring, and I buy him an H2O pendant as well, and replace Anna's fire pendant with an H2O pendant too, because explosion damage is fire-based and H2O pendants reduce fire damage. Then I teleport back to LA. I know Mount Itoi is east, but I want to see what is north of town first. I want to find this tower and harbor that I've heard about. All of the gang members here greet me kindly now. None of them want to fight. Am I locked out of grinding more flamethrowers? North of town I find the jetty I saw on the biplane. At the end of the jetty is a man who asks me if I think he's the world's greatest fisherman. He begins telling me a fishing story, then the screen goes black and the resting music plays. When we can see again, he's still telling the story, saying, in the meantime, dawn breaks over the harbor, ... That's it for the harbor, I guess. The tower is west of here, so I go west. I find the tower. It is tall, white, and cylindrical, like a silo. There's also a blue and white graphic partway up, but I can't tell what it's supposed to be an image of. I check the sign, which says Ocean View. Tourists, welcome. I enter into a lobby. A man says he's seen smoke rise off the islands nearby, and wonders if anyone lives there. The woman by the elevator invites me to look through the telescopes on the upper floors. Entering the elevator is direct access to the tower's roof, where 2 telescopes are stationed pointing north over the sea. We can see an island in the distance. I check one of the telescopes. The first one says the shimmering blue sea stretched toward the horizon. In the distance on the island, something sparkled. Something indeed rises up out of the island, goes out of the screen's frame, then a second later, a rocket, short and stout with a white body and red tip, lands on the roof effortlessly. You know, like a Falcon 9. Interacting with the rocket tells me my party has climbed inside. We blast off to the island. Man, Lloyd would have loved this. We land on the island. It is small, lush, and green with a few trees, and surrounded by tall cliffs with no beach access. There is a small white house with a doghouse nearby. I enter. It is a laboratory. A man asks me if I've ever tasted strawberry tofu. I say yes. He asks me to buy some for him. In the other room are 2 identical-looking assistants, Baker and Abel. They also want strawberry tofu. I return to LA by making 1,000 pixel-perfect inputs spinning in a circle as teleport channels. Just kidding. I take the rocket back to the mainland. I buy 3 strawberry tofu, which costs me almost $3,000, and return. The scientist thanks me and gives me an item called Words O Love. That's Words O apostrophe love. One of the assistants gives me an item called Swear Words. The third gives me information, saying, near the summit of Mount Itoi, deep in the lake, lies a fantastic robot. I think it still works. I use these items in battle. They're just cosmetic. So when you use swear words, the user says, I hate you. And when you use words oh love, the user says, I love you. These are the technological discoveries they're working on the island. Fascinating. All right, I guess it's time to go to Mount Itoi. I cross a bridge and travel through a river prairie and find a white house. Inside is a doctor. He has food, medicine, and a bed I can use. Every time I ask him for a Life Up, he gives me a free Life Up cream. And I can rest here wherever I want? Man, this is amazing. The idea that I get free health restore items and a free place to sleep right before Mount Itoi is telling me that there's some challenges ahead of me. So I'm feeling kind of, I'm wondering what kind of challenges I'm going to run into on the mountain here. Just past the house is a cave. Is this the entrance to the mountain? I go in. Inside is a twisting maze of narrow cave paths separated by the occasional entranceway. I am immediately ambushed by 3 blue starmen. Teddy crits the first one for 150. The second targets Anna with PSI Beam Gamma, which apparently is a one-hit kill ability, but Anna's Franklin badge reflects the spell and the caster dies or goes back to normal or stops moving or whatever. Blue Starman may also prepare for an attack for its turn, which is a defense boost. Next I encounter a Cerebrum. A Cerebrum is a brain in a glass jar with 2 cartoonish legs and 5 thin lightning bolts radiating out of the jar. I bet this guy uses PSI abilities, and I am correct. It casts PSI Fire, Beta, ouch! It casts it again, ouch! But Teddy crits it again and it goes down. This thing can also cast PSI Defense Down Beta and PSI Beam Alpha. Over time in this dungeon, I develop a policy that a turn 1 PSI Shield Beta is mandatory versus these things. At the far end of the first room, I open a present. Most of us are children, and we open presents. It's a katana. I check Teddy's offense. It's 142 with the sword, and 154 with the katana. Awesome. Teddy is now bashing for 95 to 110 damage, and critting for more than 155 now. And he crits constantly. As I navigate the cave, I find another present. Inside is an iron skillet. Anna can equip this. It is a heavy metal pan to, quote, rock her enemies. Her offense was 30 and now it's 50. I wonder if she'll bash for greater than 1 point of damage now. A dead end leads me into another present. It has a Hank bat in it, as in Hank Aaron, I presume. Nintendo's current offense with the boomerang, which I've had equipped for more than half the game, is 108. With the Hank bat, it is 124. Another present yields a PSI stone. How many of these do I have now? 3? 4? I have 4. Jeez Louise. And just behind it is an exit. I leave the cave complex and enter the mountain proper. Outside, there are steep brown cliffs all around me, and the walkable ground is dusty with the occasional dry shrub poking up. This is the Itoi Plateau. Out here, I'm ambushed by 2 rock goyles. They are green, quadrupedal, demon-like creatures with a single white spiraling horn atop its head, purple wings, and an armored purple carapace on its back. The boys bash while Anna tries to put the other to sleep. She fails, so conventional beatings is back on the menu. After the fight, Nintendo reaches level 30. His max HP is 174, his max psychic points is 124, and he has other stats as well. I climb up a cliff by a tree stump's root that is woven together exactly like as if it were a climbing rope. Exactly. Next, I'm attacked by a Megaborg. It is a samurai robot in steel armor holding a polearm across its body, but the polearm's trident end is pointed down like as if he's holding a broom. Its kabuto, or samurai helmet, has a gnarly white crescent along its top. The only attack he manages to get off is PSI Beam Alpha before I TMNT Turtles and time his ass. But even these murder samurais, starmen, and mobile brains are nothing in comparison to the grizzly bear I run into next. A grizzly bear is a gray variation of the bears I've seen before. Turn 1, the grizzly bear does a non-critical basic attack to Anna for 108 damage, and she faints. It must have really high defense because Nintendo and Teddy are doing about half the damage I'm expecting them to it. And the bear's next attack is a continuous assault on Teddy. He absorbs 80 damage on the first blow and manages to dodge the second. He'd surely have fainted as well if he weren't so nimble. We flee this fight. Grizzly bears are the most overstated non-boss enemy I've seen in this game, and I aim to flee or fourth dimensional slip from all grizzlies going forward. Up here is also a Titanian. It is a red, white, and blue variation of the Titanese, the yellow scorpions from Yucca Desert. Nintendo and Teddy both smash it for a sum of almost 300 damage, but it doesn't go back to normal. Next round it does. Now there's a gargoyle out here. Rock goyle, gargoyle. This one's a gargoyle. It is a yellow and red variation of the rock goyles I saw earlier. We bash it, and it casts Fire Beta. Crap! My boys finish the job next turn. Nintendo is getting pretty low on psychic points, but I have enough PSI stones to keep him afloat here. I hope I find a place to rest soon, and I really don't like the idea of Anna missing all this experience. There! A house, surrounded by orange trees. I go in. It's a healer! With a phone! He heals my party, and Anna is back. When I grab the handle of the door between this room and the next, Teddy splits from the party, saying that he has a few phone calls he wants to make. Inside, it's just a bedroom here, but Anna is blocking the door. What's going on here? I speak with her and she says, Nintendo, please stay with me. Okay. You can answer this yes or no. I say no because I can't let Anna go down this path at such a young age. She presses harder. No! Please stay with me, please! Then silence falls. Would you like to dance? We dance together in the healer's bedroom. It is a couple's dance. Intimate and more emotionally loaded than the ritzy showbiz dance from our performance in LA. We're always facing one another as we move as one about the room. I spin her, she spins me. It's romantic, or as romantic as it can be between two children. Anna prompts me with a question. Nintendo, do you love me? I don't know what to say. Do I love Anna? Aren't we just children? What do I know about love? All I know is fighting, throwing boomerangs, riding trains, and psychic abilities. Is she kidding me? Oh, if only I could use telepathy now, I could really know for sure. But she knows telepathy too, and is a far better psychic mage than I am. Damn it, Teddy, why did you have to leave me? What phone call could have possibly been so important as to leave me in the room here with her? I'm dying for someone, anyone, the healer, Teddy, a goddamn grizzly bear to break the tension of this moment. Then again, we have been on this adventure together. Our bond along this road has drawn us close. Maybe she has truly fallen in love with me. She knows about as much about love as I do about it. Then again, I find some kind of comfort in that. What the hell do we know about love? It is stupid of her to surprise me with a question like that, and so it is stupid of me to give her an answer. But I have to give her an answer anyways. This yes-no prompt has been waiting my answer for the last 5 minutes here. I give her my childish, stupid answer. I say yes. She says, "Oh, Nintendo, I've loved you for such a long time." Oh shit, she's for real. Thankfully, Teddy bursts into the room and asks why we're blushing. He wants to get out of here, thank God. Suddenly we hear explosions outside. We're under attack! It's a boss fight. It's the R7038, a blue variation of the towering robot my children battled in the ruins above the monkey cave. We deal single-digit damage to it. The robot's first attack is a basic attack that hits Nintendo for almost 300. Nintendo faints, and I can hear Anna's impassioned wail in my unconscious state. She lights him up with a PK Beam Gamma, the one-hit kill ability, and Teddy can only bash. But before she gets the cast off, she also takes a Robo Fist for almost 300. Teddy attempts to flee, but fails, dodges the robot's next attack, but next round Teddy is not so lucky. He also goes down under the crushing blows of the towering robot's metal fist. Then we hear an explosion. Lloyd is here. He shows up with a tank. The tank? The one with the $200 repair bill? How the hell did he get a tank up here? Lloyd says he missed. Wait, what did he miss? Did he miss the robot? The battle is over, and everything feels kind of strange. Did a shell land and hit us all? Lloyd collects our cartoonishly fried bodies and returns us to the healer. Wait, no, this isn't the healer. This is the doctor's house at the base of the mountain. Nintendo and Anna are okay. Lloyd is here in the room, spitting ellipses, perhaps regretting his poor aim. Teddy is still in the bed, being attended to by the doctor. Teddy says, brute strength is not enough to beat them. I know now that peace can be brought back to us. I believe. The doctor speaks encouraging words to Lloyd, who then walks to Teddy and says, it's the weakling's turn. You stay here and wait. Lloyd rejoins the party, completely turning the tables on Teddy. Teddy spits ellipses and remains at the doctor's. I didn't actually save my game at the healer at the plateau above, and this doctor has no phone, so I decided to return to LA and call Dad at the department store. While I'm here, I notice the BB gang are hostile to me again, so I grind more flamethrowers. I beat up the same gang member maybe 40 times. He drops one flamethrower. Eventually I get superstitious that the overworld NPC might only have one flamethrower to drop at a time, so I go to another gang member NPC and I fight him. I even have him cornered into a couple trees just off the boulevard so the NPC can't path away from me in the second it takes for me to speak to him after a battle ends. Hours pass, and I have 6 flamethrowers. I return to the base of Mount Itoi and look at my inventory. Nintendo has a cash card, Onyx hook, big bag, lots of Life Up creams, and a sports drink. Anna, Franklin badge, 5 PSI stones, and some sports drinks. Lloyd, 1 Franklin badge, 1 plasma beam, and 6 flamethrowers. I navigate through the caves in the Itoi Plateau all over again, arriving at the healer's house again. While I'm traveling, I'm coming to terms with the idea that for all of the grinding I've done, and between the instant death spells, the one-shot attacks from bears, and the game-ending paralysis and petrification spells, my actual health means very little on the mountain. It's kind of, are you dead or are you alive, on a turn-by-turn basis. By now I'm running from all cerebrums. I decide they just don't give enough experience for all the AoE damage they deal. When it's time to advance up the mountain past the healer's house, I get into 4 battles before the healer's house is out of visual range. The last one, with 2 gargoyles, sprays fire beta all over my team and Anna dies. I return to the healer, but not before running from another 2 battles. Overworld random battle RNG is really dragging me down, but we restore our leading lady and try that again. I continue up the mountain and encounter a lake. A lake in the middle of a mountain? Is Mount Itoi a volcano, and is this its caldera? I encounter 3 O-mooks, that's OH-MOOKS, while exploring the lake. They are yellow variations of the green mooks I saw in the swamp south of LA. They cast PSI Life Up, PSI Defense Up, and PSI Freeze Beta. And PSI Block, PSI Darkness, and PSI Fire Beta, and PSI Brain Shock. Anna has PSI Fire Beta now, and 2 PSI Fire Betas, 1 Flamethrower, and some cleanup bashes take them down. I've decided that a PSI Shield Beta, which is an AoE magic defense buff, is absolutely necessary to endure their attacks, and ideally taking place on turn 1 before they get a PSI Block on someone who can also life up. Also, these guys give really good experience. On the lake's eastern side, there is a small wooden pier with a motorboat moored to it. The motor appears to be broken, but Lloyd fires it right up. I am able to drive the boat around the lake free of random battles, but there's nothing to do in this lake except inspect a whirlpool in the center. We are immediately bucked from our boat and our bodies are pulled down to the bottom of the lake and into an open metal hatch buried in the lake bed. We awake in a factory, identical in style to the other factories we visited. Where the hell are we anyways? We take the nearby mechanical lift, which descends us several more levels beneath the mountain. There are no random battles here. I find that suspicious. A few rooms later, we're treated to enormous plated glass windows that show us we are at the bottom of the lake, and I can see a few small green fish swimming leisurely on the other side of these windows. Compared to the other labs, this lab's layout is very straightforward. After descending the lift, all I do is go left. Door after door, each door locks behind me as I pass through it. The only way out is through. In the lab's largest room, there is a ladder between two enormous plated windows. There are several more fish in these windows than the ones I saw before. I climb the ladder, and as I ascend, I can see there are cracks in the glass. A tall, red robot with segmented arms and legs, a power core in its chest, and a head shaped like a UFO is waiting for me. Feeling Nintendo's presence, it comes to life. It says in all caps, "My name is Eve. I have been waiting for you. My creator was George. He was taken to the end of the universe, then brought back later. I am here to protect you. That is my purpose." Do you like my robot voice? More cracks appear in the glass and the windows crash inward. Lake water blasts us off our feet and the screen goes black. I mean blue. We wash ashore. She's following me now, that tall robot. Eve has joined the party. No in-game music plays, but you know what? Hit it. Holy shit, you guys. Eve is really great. She fights in battles with us. Her speed, her crit, and her attack values must be incredibly high because she deals more than 1,000 damage per hit. She has infinite health, is immune to instant death skills, and does not earn experience. I think it's time to grind. As I path around the lake watching Eve beat Omooks into slime, all I have to say is it is so strange to see this tall robot follow me. It must be 30 feet tall. I spend the next, I don't even know how long, painting the cliff sides of Mount Itoi with Mook jelly. Eve hits for quadruple digits while my children defend. This counts as full experience, and I feel like I need this badly. As we're doing this, Anna hits level 30, 121 health, 51 offense, 109 wisdom, 124 force, speed 42, fight 14, strength 49. Why did I type all these stats out of order? Anna hitting 30 seems like a good enough benchmark, so I continue my ascent. In the upper reaches of the mountain, I encounter a new foe, Super Energy, one word with a camel-capped E. He's a yellow variation of the energy robot I fought earlier. I bet he explodes too. He's joined by a Megaborg, the easiest foe on the mountain. Eve dispatches both of them quickly, and my children defend to take half damage from the robot's explosion. Above the lake, the environment is another cliffside maze of walkable areas, very much like the plateau below, joined by caves or braided roots that serve as climbable ropes. I'm caught off guard in mid-route by two Gigaborgs. They are polished jade-colored variations of their blue cousins. We guard while Eve whoops ass. Next in line for the Eve abattoir is the Omegaborg. This one is gold-plated and joined by his jade cousin. A punch hitting for 950 assimilates him into my junkyard. Then I'm ambushed by four last starmen. They are gold variations of their pink, gray, and blue compatriots. There are four of them, and so this might get dicey for my kids here, even despite Eve's assistance. Turn 1, I can confidently say that a last Starman has less than 1135 health. Then a Beam Beta, one hit kills Ninten. We survive the battle otherwise, and so Anna casts a super healing and Ninten returns to the land of the living. Last Starman give an insane amount of experience. After this encounter, I'm picking up on a game mechanic that I can't really explain. I find it interesting that when a last Starman has a PSI beam gamma reflected back onto him from the Franklin badge, the Starman takes fatal damage and dies. But when an Omega Borg receives a reflected beam gamma, they always resist the mortal damage. Through a cave near the top, I find a present. We are children. We open presents. It is a sea pendant, like a body of water, sea, S-E-A. When I check it, it says it will guard against all PSI attacks. I want this on Anna because she's the only child with a resurrection skill. This strategy is validated in the next fight when an Omega Borg casts PSI Beam Gamma on her and she takes a single point of damage. I encounter a Juana, J-U-A-N-A, the J is silent, we presume. It is a red, slender, female-looking robot. She looks similar to the Nancys I fought in the Yucca Desert, but Juana here has a mean-looking helmet and menacing pauldrons on her shoulders. She looks far more feminine than Eve does, but one hit knocks her out. Oh, here's another new one. Star Miner. He's a pink variation of the bomber I found in Duncan's factory, and Eve destroys it before it can attack. For all I know, the Star Miner is a non-aggressive creature. I grind until Anna hits 34, whereupon she learns Life Up Omega, a battle-only skill that heals the entire party to full health for a whopping 48 psychic points. The next fight, Nintendo dies to his squad of last starmen. It crosses my mind how amusing it would be for Lloyd and Anna to be on equal level as Nintendo, so I continue grinding with Nintendo as a ghost until all members are level 36. It doesn't take very long because this experience is split between 2 children instead of 3. During this particular section of the grind, Juana's dropped 3 PSI Power Stones. Oh, whoops! Lloyd reached level 37. Who's the weakling now, bitch? We resurrect Nintendo, and with him back in the fold, we continue our climb. Along a narrow strip of walkable ledge, a large robot attacks. It's the R7038XX. This is the same robot we've fought before, but this one has X's in its serial number. Is he back? Is he a new upgraded version? Did someone pay his $200 repair bill? I attack. This boss seems only interested in fighting Eve, however. After a few turns, the boss strikes Eve for almost 500 damage, and Eve explodes. The explosion damages the R7038XX as well, who also explodes. When this scripted boss battle is over, Eve is no longer in our party. She's lying in pieces on the side of the mountain. I check her, and it says Robot Eve was demolished and moved no more. But examining the wreckage causes music to play. The screen changes to rippling bars of white, black, and I don't know what else. Nintendo remembers the tune, and we have our 7th melody. With my security blanket gone, I run from all battles except for the ones featuring a single foe. Well, I guess I can take 2 Gigaborgs. A little farther up I see a tall stone with 2 X's etched on it. Maybe it's a grave. I check it and music plays. Something emerges from it, but I can't tell what it is. A black gem? An eyeball? This gem spirit thing speaks. It says, Nintendo, welcome. I always believed I'd find you here. Your great-grandmother Maria's love was scattered in the form of memories. I have a melody for you. Listen and remember. I believe I have found the grave of George, my, or Nintendo's, great-grandfather. And now this gem thing I believe is his spirit. The spirit plays a melody, and the screen flashes with psychedelic colors again, for the 8th and perhaps the last time. Beyond the grave is a cave, with a stone blocking its entrance. I check it, but there's no problem. I telepathy it, and nothing happens. I find it strange that I cannot progress further, but I recall that Queen Maria, my great-grandmother in Magic Hand, asked me to sing the 8 melodies to her when I have them all. So I use the Onyx hook and return to Magic Hand. I can only hope that there will be some kind of shortcut to get me back here if I need to return to the top of Mount Itoi. Before I visit the Crystal Palace, I restore my health at the Magic Hand Hospital, then visit the musician in the Palm Tree Woods outside of Magic Hand Town. He recites his song to me again, those clues to every melody, and I understand the hints of melodies 7 and 8 now. Eve's last song has no refrain, and on the mount named Itoi, you must climb high, young boy. See the XX stone for the last tone. Then do not leave Queen Mary alone. I leave and enter the Crystal Palace, seeking an audience with Queen Mary. I enter her emerald throne room and walk the red carpet before her golden red chair. She says, "Please sing to me the melodies that you have learned." The complete song plays. Yeah, that's right, that's the song. Then Queen Maria cries out something I haven't seen yet in this game. Oh, Gigue! This word is spelled G-I-E-G-U-E, which could be pronounced a variety of ways, but I'll just say Gigue. Then Maria says, I loved him as if he were my own child. The throne room starts dimming as she continues to speak. He was wagging his tail just like a pup. The throne room grows darker. Except when I try to sing him lullabies. The throne room grows darker. Ah, George, this is your wife Maria. The throne room goes darker. I'm coming to join you. My purpose is complete. Darkness completely envelops the throne room. Then the queen disappears. Nintendo advances to the throne, and the children also disappear. We reappear in a desert. Maria is phasing in and out of existence in front of me. There are broken Magic Hand shells about, mountain ridges in the background, and a blue sky. The scene is tinted blue, like as if painted in the pre-dawn light of day. Maria disappears again, and then a prompt appears. After telling the story to Nintendo, with a rush of wind, Queen Mary vanished. As she disappeared, so too did Magic Hand. Magic Hand was a mirage born of Maria's consciousness. The screen goes black again, and we reappear by George's grave. I check my inventory. I still have the onyx hook, but when I use it, nothing happens. I advance towards the cave entrance behind the grave. I'm waylaid by a star miner who tosses a bomb at me. So much for the pacifist theory. But I can see I have an all-new battle selection. Sing. All children can sing in battle. When you select Sing, the child sings Maria's magical lullaby. But it has no effect on the star miner, so I bash it. That stone blocking the cave entrance behind the grave is gone now, so I enter. Eerie string music plays. Or is this even music? This room is a narrow cave path. I follow it. When the path branches, I take the right and enter a room filled with test tubes. There could be hundreds of them in here. There are humans inside some of them. One of them says, "Oh, the darkness is so thick. Can't see you very well. But could it be? Is it the little girl from Snowman? Anna, I believe it was. Brace yourself. Your mom is locked in a room in the back. Do not try to rescue us now. First, the mothership must be destroyed." I speak with another test tube. "I was kidnapped by the mothership. Please help me." We seem to have found the kidnapped parents. I leave the room and try the left fork. I enter into another room that features a large hole in the ground. Something is emerging from it. It's the mothership. The bridge appears first, like an airport's control tower, then a big glassy frame emerges. There's something inside, and it attacks. We are in battle with an alien named Gigu. It is a tall, thin, white humanoid with long white and gray ears, a tail, and a rat-like snout. Is this the inspiration from Mewtwo? Gigu is suspended in a pod filled with fluid, as indicated by two chains of bubbles pouring out of the sides of its head. The pod is oval-shaped and has a large network of gray pipes covering its sides, plus a pair of wings or rocket boosters also covered in red pipes. It says, "Nintendo, I am grateful to your family." Then it casts an ability. Its form is inexplicable to my children. My party takes serious damage. Thanks to his high speed value, Gigu sneaks this ability in before Nintendo's AoE physical shield and Anna's AoE psychic shield. Lloyd lays on the flamethrower, which promptly breaks. It's fine. I have more in my inventory. The following turn, Gigu says, "Your great-grandparents George and Maria raised me." Then he attacks again, unleashing the same incomprehensible attack that only pain can understand. Each turn, he tells more of his story. Turn 3, he says, "But George stole vital information from our plane, or planet," this might be a typo on my part, "that can be used to betray my people." He attacks again. Nintendo and Anna are healing desperately, and Lloyd sings. It has an effect. Part of the lullaby plays, but just a few notes, and a striking sound can be heard, like as if it were an error. No damage or reaction is demonstrated. Turn 4, and now one of his descendants is obstructing our plans and must be stopped. Nintendo, I am talking about you. The form of Gigu's attack was inexplicable. Singing has the same effect. That is, no effect. Turn 5, I need to cast PSI Life Up Gamma to myself and defend. Gigu says, "Go home now. Perish with the rest of the ugly Earth people." Nintendo takes 46 damage to the inexplicable attack. He has 45, and Nintendo faints. Anna casts a Life Up Pi on herself and Lloyd. Because I'm going to need a buffer of health in order to allocate one turn from Anna to restore Nintendo, and Lloyd sings again, another futile gesture. "Foolish one, you cannot do a thing with your meager powers. Powers worthy of a lowly insect." Again, Anna and Lloyd endure an inexplicable attack. Okay, Life Up Pi wasn't enough. Life Up Gamma is up next. Nintendo, you alone. I may save you. Just you alone. Board our mothership with me. Gigu issues another incomprehensible attack. Turn 8, Anna gets a super healing off and Nintendo is back in the action, and Lloyd sings. The alien continues. "Then fall into a long sleep with your friends and the other ugly Earth people." Only on this turn, turn 8, do we get a reaction from Gigu about our singing. "Stop singing," he says. Turn 9, Nintendo sings, Anna casts Life Up Pi, Lloyd sings. When he hears the sing a second time, Gigyu says, stop singing. When he hears it a third time, stop that song! Turn 10, everyone's at full health, so I think we have enough room to do 3 sings in one turn. On the 4th, he says, stop that song! On the 5th, you puny little earth bugs, shut up and stop singing. On the 6th, the song, ... Turn 11, we sing. He says, stop it! Life Up Pi, and then we sing again. On the 8th instance of our sing, Gigyu can only spit exclamation points. Turn 11, everyone's about 80% health, so let's try another 3 sings. On the 9th, Gigyu says, stop! Please stop! On the 10th, he spits even more exclamation points, and on the 11th, the alien blinks and seizes. He says, how can I be defeated by a song like that? I will, sometime... Nintendo, we shall meet again. And Gigyu flees the battle. The mothership descends down the pit again. The cave crackles with flashes of light. A rumbling sound begins and grows louder. No, it's not short-circuiting. The mothership's boosters are firing. The ship re-emerges from the pit and accelerates skyward. At last we get the best visual of the ship's complete structure, although there is plenty of ship that stretches beyond the edges of my screen. The mothership blasts off away from Mount Tatoi, abandoning its test tubes of adults. We're at the game's ending sequences now. We're treated to a series of scenes that last 8 or 10 seconds before they clip on to the next one. So hold on tight because these scenes go by very fast. Here we go. By Grandpa's grave, the adults emerge from their test tubes and are free to return to their loved ones. Anna is reunited with her mom. Now that we see Anna's mom, we can tell that she has long blonde hair and also wears a pink dress. In LA, Teddy has made a complete recovery and performs daily at the live show club. We see him on stage holding the mic stand in a lunging power pose as he performs for Nintendo, Lloyd, and Anna. He lunges stage left and right, and then our final image of Teddy is him leaping straight into the air in a dramatic spread eagle splits jump like as if he's David Lee Roth. In Youngtown, Nintendo, Anna, and Lloyd help the kidnapped grown-ups reunite with their lonely children. The Youngtown youth are ecstatic and rapidly path around the screen like enthusiastic puppy dogs. In Snowman, Anna returns home. She says to Lloyd and I promise I won't forget you, so I will not say goodbye, just till we meet again. In Marysville, Lloyd returns to a hero's welcome at Twinkle Elementary School. His fellow schoolmates cheer and toss him into the air in celebration. In Podunk, Nintendo returns home. Mom, my sisters Mimi and Minnie, and the family dog are outside waiting for me. Mom says, son, your sisters and I are so happy to see you back in one piece. How unbelievable that you're not hungry. Back in Snowman, Anna receives a letter from Nintendo. A thought bubble sprouts from Anna's head displaying a black and white picture of Nintendo's sprite chilling by some trees. A letter from Nintendo, she says. I miss him so much. I hope we can get together again soon. In the final scene, we're in Nintendo's room. Our unassuming, all-American, apple-cheeked, baseball cap-wearing 12-year-old protagonist is resting in his bed. His red cap is lying on the floor like as if he tossed it there in exhaustion. Nintendo speaks, which, if you don't count yes-no prompts and singing the lullaby, this is his one and only line of dialogue. He says,
well, now that the Earth's crisis is over, I think I'll just lay down for a moment and... The lights go out, and Nintendo enjoys some well-earned rest. As he sleeps, characters from EarthBound Beginnings walk into the screen but below the bounds of the bedroom, pause in the center, and bow like at the end of a stage production. Well, they would bow if their sprites could bow, but they just look forward at you for a moment before leaving stage left. First, it's Pippi, then Mimi, or Minnie, but it's just one of the sisters. Then a healer and 2 canaries from Canary Village. Then the janitor from Twinkle Elementary School, still pushing his mop bucket. Then 4 children. They could be the Twinkle Elementary School kids or the abandoned children of Youngtown. Podunk's mayor and his assistant stroll by. A single police officer follows. Then comes 3 NPCs I don't immediately recognize, except that one's the young blonde man that you see everywhere in EarthBound. The second one is Lucy from Peanuts, and the third guy is the one that looks like Link's uncle from A Link to the Past. Whoever you are, thanks for coming, guys. The cool greaser dude, a mean-looking man with his arms crossed, and a wild-haired redhead also say farewell. Then Bao's a doctor, a nurse, and a second doctor. Then Anna without her hat, or I think that's Anna. Is that Anna? Then the Yucca Desert pilot. Then 3 monkeys and a penguin. 2 Magicant gnomes, a mushroom man and a fountain man. Then the Magicant musician. A flock of flying men. Then comes Queen Maria in her pink royal gown. Then Teddy, Anna, Nintendo, who is also still asleep in this same shot, and Lloyd appear. The screen goes black, and the credits play. Director, Shigesato Itoi. Game designers, Shigesato Itoi and Miyuki Kure. And music producers, Akio Omori and Ritsuo Kamimura, and so on. And at the end of the credits, I get a personal credit. Player Tyler. Wait a second. Tyler, T-Y-E-L-E-R? T-Y-E-L-E-R? Did I seriously spell my name wrong, or is EarthBound Beginnings fucking with me? I bet I spelled it wrong. Oh my god. The game's final shot is a sequel teaser. It is a pixel art image of Nintendo's dad speaking into a payphone. He is a large man in a khaki trench coat with matching slacks, leather shoes, and a wide-brimmed hat. He says, "I know that boy is home. Come on, son, and answer the phone. Something new has come up, and... ... His back is facing me in the shot, which makes this whole thing look very suspicious. I kind of wonder if it's even him. And that's it. ... Whatever buttons you press, the game holds on this frame, like until you just turn off or reset. So this might be it, but I've got some questions. What was the poltergeist supposed to be after all? Am I supposed to believe that Gigu's alien forces are so powerful they can transform inanimate objects into hostile entities? Why did the inanimate objects attack my family? Was this to defeat Nintendo before he began his journey, killing the adventurer in the crib, so to speak? How did a canary, a monkey, a haunted piano, and a cactus come to learn part of the magic melody? The rest, I can believe. My sister's doll could have been an heirloom passed down from Maria, and I accept the dragon knowing part of the melody too because he's a resident of Maria's alternate reality, and I accept that George has known the melody all along and may have included it in Eve's programming too. We hear a lot about Duncan, the factory owner and future strip club owner, but we never meet him. Why? So what was Lloyd up to during his time alone in LA? Maybe he helped fix the tank, and as a consequence of that, developed the technical know-how to repair the motorboat on his own. I think that checks out. Why did Gigu's race kidnap George and Maria in the first place? We don't see any other members of Gigu's race. Maybe it was just him that kidnapped the couple. But we know Maria loved Gigu like a baby, or something like that. Can baby aliens pilot motherships and kidnap humans? How did an alien-abducted woman come to be a mother-like figure to an alien? Was Gigu seduced by motherly love? Was Gigu an orphan? Or does motherly love not exist among Gigu's race? Did George develop a fatherly bond to it too? Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't, and used Gigu's vulnerability for Maria's love to steal alien secrets. But seriously, why does Gigu hate Maria's lullaby? Maria seems to have loved Gigu, so it can't be from ill will. Is it because it symbolizes the vulnerability which George may have exploited to steal secrets? Is Gigu's race repulsed by motherly love, or just lullabies, or just that lullaby? Does the lullaby stir Gigu's compassion for humans, interfering with his ability to execute his master plan? Is the lullaby itself magical or loaded with psychic power? Can Maria transmit psychic power through her lullaby? If so, and if the lullaby is harmful to Gigu, it can't have been on purpose. Why does Gigu turn heel in the middle of the final battle and invite Nintendo to join him on the mothership? Why did Gigu kidnap adults? Typical American UFO folklore suggests kidnapped humans are for studying. What did Gigu and his friends hope to learn? Where exactly did they go when they kidnapped them? That happened 80 years ago, but as far as we know in the present time, Gigu only kidnapped adults from Youngtown, the mother from the couple in the snowman train station, and Anna's mother. Maybe the Youngtown parents were low-hanging fruit because they're so close to Mount Itoi. Or maybe he's studying the genealogy of psychic power inheritance. After all, the parents of the psychic baby in Youngtown were kidnapped, and so too was the mother of Anna, the psychic kid from Snowman. So why didn't Gigu kidnap Nintendo's mom? Maybe he attempted to, which we attributed to the poltergeist attack. How did Dad know the poltergeist attack took place while he was away from home? Does this mean that the other household in Podunk that experienced a poltergeist also had a psychic family member in it? When the aliens returned to George, why didn't he tell anybody about it? Why was George returned but not Maria? Wouldn't friends and family be wondering what happened to her? Did she disappear into Magicant during or after her kidnapping? Did the aliens facilitate the creation of Magicant? How long did George live after he was returned? How much time did he spend living a normal life before he began his odd study on Mount Itoi?
So what did George steal that could be used to betray Gigyu's race? Was it the technology to build Eve? Did George build Eve on Mount Itoi? If so, why did he build it so close to Gigyu's mothership? Perhaps the mothership made Mount Itoi its hiding place after George died. How did George die anyways? According to Eve, her purpose was to protect Nintendo, but I have trouble believing George created Eve to protect a descendant he would never meet. Unless George was psychic. If this is true, this must mean George predicted that Maria would need Nintendo to gather her melody fragments as a means to release her from Magicant and reunite with her in death. Why is Maria's lullaby the key to releasing Maria from Magicant? So, Magicant was a mirage born of Maria's consciousness. How? We know she is its creator, but was she really its ruler or its prisoner? A prisoner of silk and gold? Has Maria ever thought about taking the ice caves out of Magicant? What would happen to her if she did? Some of the coded language in George's diary said, "Who's lost its tail?" Well, who lost its tail? It wasn't Gigyu. Gigyu still had his tail. We know Nintendo needed George's diary to learn the password to enter Magicant. Did George organize events such that the diary would be stored in Nintendo's mom's basement? If so, how did he ensure that that would happen? Is anyone alive working on behalf of George from the grave? Which of Nintendo's parents is related to George and Maria anyhow? Maybe Dad? According to the post-credits teaser, he has important information that Nintendo needs to know. What does he know? What does he know? What does he know? Thank you for listening, everybody. This was an episode of Hero with 1,000 Potions, a gaming podcast where my friend and I discuss the storytelling and gameplay of popular and niche RPGs. Right now, we're knee-deep in a blind playthrough of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, but we also have a couple one-off episodes that you might find interesting. You can find Hero with 1,000 Potions wherever you get your podcast fix. Special thanks to my niece and nephews who each played Game Over Kid, Prologue Kid, and the Nintendo voice actor. My name is Tyler, and I'm interested in hearing your feedback about this Travelogue episode. Do you have an RPG to recommend for another Travelogue episode? I'm interested in doing more of these in addition to our regular content. Leave a comment or email herowith1000potions@gmail.com. That's 1000 potions. We are also on YouTube as the channel Gunblade Guys, on Discord with a link you can find in the podcast description on our RSS feed, and on Twitter via the handle herowith1000pot. Thank you and gargle often, gargle proud, gargle strong.